This morning, I got so mad at my baby sister because she came into my room when I wasn't there and got chocolate pudding all over my game console. I told on her, but Mom laughed and said, "Well, if you don't want to deal with your little sister, you better find a new place to live." What? Like, hello, I was so mad. I went into my room and shut the door, and that got me thinking, how do people find a new place to live? I've always wanted to live on a houseboat or in a motorhome where you can drive all over, or like a giant castle, the kind that's been around for hundreds of years, or even an apartment up in the sky, or a farm, or an igloo. So I looked it up on my computer, how to find a home. Save for first and last month's rent, and once you have enough for a down payment, apply for a mortgage. What is this about? It seemed complicated, so I called my grandma. My grandma used to sell houses for a living. I told her what my baby sister did and what my mom said, and my grandma laughed. And then she said, "Well, you don't need to buy a home, darling. You could rent too. But you know, fifth graders usually don't. You had better get acquainted with the details." We had a long conversation, and now I'm kind of an expert. Here's what I learned. No matter what kind of home it is, some people buy their homes and other people rent. When people rent their homes, that means they pay the person who owns it a set amount every month. This might include fees for utilities like water or heat, but they might not. When you rent, it means you don't have to pay for repairs, like if the toilet leaks or the hot water heater breaks. One of the things people like about renting is that someone else is responsible for repairs and maintenance. Not so much when you own your home. Then, if something breaks, you're on the hook to fix it. The big thing about buying your home is that most people usually need to save for a down payment and then get a mortgage. A down payment is the money you've saved up to buy the home. It's the first payment you make before you get a loan and promise to pay for the rest later. The loan for the rest of the price of the house is called a mortgage. People usually go to a bank, credit union, or a mortgage lender to get it. And they usually pay the loan back over a long time, like 30 years. Imagine! And just like any other kind of loan, you need to pay interest on your mortgage. So let's say I have $23.28 saved up, and a house is $100. I would have to borrow $76.72 in order to afford the house. That would be the mortgage. Every month, I'd pay the lender a portion of the loan back, as well as some interest. But before I can get a mortgage, I'll have to have my credit checked to make sure I'm not a risky borrower, to make sure I have a history of repaying any money I borrow. And when you buy a home, you have to pay to have the home inspected for damage. Oh, and you have to pay tax on the house every year too. You don't have to do that if you rent. Anyway, I decided that for now, I'm not going to rent or buy. I'll let my parents handle that. Which means I'll have to put up with my little sister a while longer, at least until 6th grade.